Hi, I'm Ashley Bloom, Marketing Manager here at Raffingers, and this is Quickfire Questions. So, Gary, Yedidya, thank you so much for taking part in this interview. The aim of the game is to let our clients and future clients get to know you both a little bit better. And in particular, Yedidya, as Raffingers' newest partner, bringing the total number of partners to 11. So before we begin, I'd just like to say, Yedidya, on behalf of the team, we are so excited about your appointment to partner. And we've all seen the hard work and energy that you bring to Raffingers every day, and we cannot wait to see what you bring to the table. But to kick off, I'm going to ask a couple of most likely to questions. All you both need to do is either point at yourself if you think you're most likely to do whatever it is that I ask, or point at each other if you think the other person is more likely to do it. So, all clear?
Absolutely.
So, who is most likely to watch romantic comedies?
Definitely.
And who is most likely to be better at maths without a calculator? And who's most likely to give all of their money away to charity? And who's most likely to be the first one to die in a zombie apocalypse?
I'm doing it on the basis of age, actually.
And who's most likely to worry about small things?
Oh, well, it's interesting.
And who's most likely to be a stand-up comedian?
Oh.
And who's most likely to invent something really useful? And lastly, who's most likely to become president of the United States? Because anyone can do it. Perfect. Amazing. So, question one, what made you decide to become an accountant?
I think, like a lot of us, it began at a relatively early age with some sort of aptitude for maths. And then my late beloved father kind of gently steered me in the right direction. He never forced me, God forbid, but yeah, he encouraged it. He even went as far as arranging what we now call work experience when I was about 15. And the sowing was seen and never looked back from there, frankly.
Well, I found that when I was talking to people, I ended up talking to their shoes. So I thought I had the personality necessary to be an accountant. On a more serious note, when I was in college sharing a room flat with other flatmates, and we were all using one phone, and someone had to work out who owed what on the various bills and how to split the landline rental. It was me who did it. So I saw I had the aptitude.
And Gary, what would you be if you weren't an accountant?
I'd probably go back and pursue my real childhood dream and be a fireman. But if age was excluded me from that, sadly, I'd probably look at the law. There are a lot of legal aspects to what we do, and it's part of the job that I really enjoy.
I think I would be a driving instructor. You get to meet lots of nervous people, give them encouragement, and see the results and give them something which they can take with them for life.
Really nice. You'd need to help me. I'm a terrible driver. Gary, if you were having a dinner party, which 4 famous guests would you invite and why?
Well, I'm an absolute cricket fanatic, so I would really want to ask Don Bradman and Douglas Jardine to understand what really happened in the famous Bodyline series. Now, I see Ashley's shaking her head because she's never heard of either of them, but those of us who are cricket buffs would certainly know that. And then to complement it, I would, of course, ask Yedidya and his wife to celebrate this partnership.
Very nice, very nice.
Right. 4 people, I think, would go like this. My first one would actually be a rabbi. The dean of the college I went to in Israel was Rabbi Finkel. And besides for being an inspiring person, he suffered from a severe case of Parkinson's disease, and he managed to overcome that and inspire and produce thousands and thousands of students, and that's particularly inspiration to me. So he would be my first guest. My second guest would be the Chancellor, Rishi Sunak. He was thrown into the job at short notice and had to come up with a budget in a few short weeks. And he said that he thought that was his biggest challenge. Little did he know that just around the corner, he was going to have to deal with COVID. So I'd be interested to see how he dealt with that and how he thinks we're going to get out of this mess. My third guest, I'm not going to claim to be a massive boxing fan, but Anthony Joshua, for a sport which is full of trash talk, he comes across as really soft and sweet and nice. And I don't understand how he manages to move between the two, come across so nice and yet build up the confidence to meet his opponents and beat them. So I'd like to talk to him about that. My last guest, I think, would be my grandmother. She was always so proud of me and encouraged me, and I'd like to have her to see where I am today.
What's the best advice, Gary, that you've ever been given?
It goes back a number of years, but it was, don't be afraid to make mistakes, because we all do. But when you've made them, learn from them.
I would say make sure you ask lots of questions and don't be afraid to ask them, because that's the way you're going to learn.
Gary, if you could share a piece of advice that you know now to your younger self, what would that piece of advice be?
I'm kind of insulted that you think I need to think about my younger self. But I think it is to be patient, not to try every day to change the world. We can try, but we rarely achieve it. But a little more patience along the route. I think that would be the most valuable advice I could give myself.
I would say don't let other people dictate where you ought to be up to. You know your capabilities and you know your strengths, and go with what you believe and move forward from there.
And Gary, what do you think makes a really great working culture?
I think actually that's easy. It's the culture we have here and are trying to enhance here, and that is being a team where everybody has a role and everybody is important, and we celebrate the importance of each and every part of that team.
Along the same lines, there's a bit of debate at the moment whether accountants are considered key workers or not. To my mind, every person in the team is a key worker. We all have our part to play. We encourage that. We encourage collaboration, and it makes people feel important and want to contribute.
Gary, how have you managed over the years to maintain a positive and healthy work-life balance, which is something so many business owners really, really struggle with?
I think if I'm honest, again, in the earlier years, I didn't. The balance was much more towards work than non-work. As I got older, it's become much easier because we're blessed with grandchildren, and anyone blessed with grandchildren desperately needs and wants to find the time and does find the time to spend because they're so great.
Yeah, my youngest daughter turns 1 today, so.
Oh, happy birthday.
Yeah, thank you very much. It feels like yesterday. But it is my children and my family who keep me going. I interact with them. I take an interest in what they're doing, and it forces me to take a break and an interest and deal with other matters. And in order to do it properly, you do need to block off proper time. You can't just float in and out.
No, definitely. And this last question is for Yedidya only, but as the newest partner at Raffingers, what's next for you?
Obviously, I'm going to be building my portfolio of clients. But what I've found is that many people think that their accountants are a once-a-year meeting and that's it. I'd like to encourage more give and take over the year. I'm going to be posting lots of articles online, which I hope people will find informative and give them a chance to feed back to me in areas where they think I've generating something which they didn't think about before, and then we can discuss that and take that forward.
So, would you rather be 4'5" or 7'7"?
I stick up for the small guy, so 4'5", whatever it is.
And Gary?
I hate to agree with you, Yedidya, but I'd go for 4'5". That's because we have a son who's 6'7", and I know the challenges he has. My daughters, who are about 5'2", even with killer heels, seem to manage perfectly well.
Yeah, fair enough. And would you rather take a guaranteed £100,000 or be in the 50-50 chance at £1 million?
Had you asked me this a few years ago, I would have said a guaranteed 100,000. But at Raffingers, we dare to be bold, so I'm going to go for the 50-50 chance.
Brilliant. Gary?
I'm happy for you, Yedidya, to win £1 million and share it with me, so I'll stick with the £100,000 guaranteed.
I'd also like some too, if you ever go for it. And Yedidya, would you rather be super strong or super fast?
I'm going to cop out and say I want to be approachable. So neither. I'm happy with the talents I've got, and I'm going to work with that. Sorry.
Fair enough. Fair enough. No judgment here. Gary?
I think definitely super fast, because then you can always run away from the guys who are super strong.
It's tactical. I like it. And Yedidya, would you rather have more time or more money?
Time.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, definitely time. That's a no-brainer.
And Yedidya, would you rather be able to talk with the animals or speak all of the foreign languages?
Again, growing up in South Africa, I did a bit of English, Afrikaans, Zulu. I moved to Israel, Hebrew, and Yiddish. So I'm interested in languages, but I think it's more important to get into the culture of the people, because the language doesn't help if you don't get under the skin and understand people properly.
True. Nice. And Gary?
Well, I'm old enough to remember the original Dr. Dolittle film, and I'm not sure he had that much fun. So I would like to stop being an Englishman abroad and speaking loudly and slowly to those who don't understand English. So I think speaking all the language.
Fair enough. And Yedidya, would you rather listen to music from the 70s or listen to music from today?
I'd rather listen to music from the 70s. My teenage daughters will make me listen to the other stuff.
Nice. And Gary?
Well, I'm not actually aware that there was any music after the 70s, so I would stick with the 70s as well.
Loads of great music. I'll send you both a Spotify link to my playlist if you want. Would you rather always say everything on your mind, everything, or never speak again?
Would I be allowed to tweet?
No, you're saying everything or never speak it again, and there's no tweet, there's no social media in this question.
It's too dangerous. I'll never speak again.
Yeah, I'm definitely with you, Yedidya. Not everything which is thought needs to be said. So I don't think I could actually do it, but I would plump for never speaking again.
And would you rather go deep sea diving or bungee jumping?
Deep sea diving. Yeah, I'm not about a flash of adrenaline. I'd rather enjoy it and look at the beauty of what's under there.
Nice.
I actually have a client who runs bungee jumping clubs and has for many years tried to get me up the crane to jump off. So on that basis, I would go for deep sea diving.
I was about to say, why don't we do it for the Raffingers Foundation?
I'm
You
sure
bungee jump.
necessary.
And would you rather have X-ray vision or magnified hearing?
Vision. X-ray vision. Yeah.
Then we can combine nicely, because again, with age, magnified hearing is a desirable factor.
Wouldn't it just give you normal hearing?
I'll see you afterwards.
And Yedidya, would you rather be too hot or too cold?
In the office, If you're too cold, they're happy for you to put the heater on. But if you're too hot, they're all moaning about the air conditioning. So
That's true.
I think I'm going to be too cold.
And Gary?
Oh, I think too hot, so I could open the windows if I needed to, but it's a close call.
Lastly, would you rather be too busy or be too bored?
I'm too busy, but I like it that way.
Again, I hate to agree with you, Yedidya, but we are partners now, so I don't have a problem with that. Definitely rather be too busy than too bored. It's a no-brainer again.
Amazing, thank you. And that finishes up the quickfire questions with Gary and Yedidya. Thank you both so much for taking part, and I hope this gives our clients and future clients more insight into your personalities. We've learned that Yedidya already speaks 1 million languages and thinks that his grandma is a celebrity, and that Gary's hearing deterioration has meant that he's been unable to listen to music after the 70s. If you have any questions for Gary or Yedidya, or would like to find out more about Raffingers, get in touch with us at raffingers.co.uk or on our socials @Raffingers.